More people have stood on the surface of the moon than have ever reached the deepest point on our own planet. Let that sink in. Pun fully intended. 7 miles straight down, in the western Pacific Ocean, there is a place so deep that if you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be over a mile underwater. It's pitch black. It's colder than your ex's texts. And the pressure down there is strong enough to crush a submarine like an empty soda can. This is the Mariana Trench, and we barely know anything about it. Hey, I'm Mads, and this is Mads Adventures, where we chase down mysteries, legends, and discoveries the world doesn't talk about enough. Today, we're going somewhere almost nobody's ever actually been. In 1875, a British ship called the HMS Challenger was cruising the Pacific, doing what scientists on ships love to do, throwing a rope with a weight on it into the water and seeing how far down it goes. Riveting stuff. Except this time, the rope just kept going and going, nearly 5 miles down before it finally hit something. They just stumbled onto the deepest place on Earth, completely by accident while trying to save coal by drifting instead of running the engines. Sometimes the biggest discoveries in history happen because someone was just trying to be a little lazy. Here's where it gets genuinely strange. Since 1991, scientists have been picking up a sound in the Pacific Ocean that nobody can fully explain. It's called the upsweep, a long, rising, almost moaning sound, and it's still being recorded today. It shows up seasonally, getting louder in spring and fall, and it's usually traced back to areas near underwater volcanic activity. But here's the part that keeps oceanographers up at night. They still don't know exactly what's causing it. Not a monster before you get excited. Almost certainly something geological, but almost certainly is doing a lot of heavy lifting. In that sentence, and after decades of listening, that's still the best answer anyone's got. For comparison, we solved the mystery of what's on the far side of the moon before we solved a sound in our own ocean. Space is apparently easier to deal with than Tuesday afternoons in the Pacific. Naturally, when you have a place this deep, this dark, and this unexplored, the internet is going to have thoughts. So let's speed run a few of the greatest hits. Theory. 1. It's a secret government research facility. Look, if it is, the government picked the single worst commute in the history of commutes. A 90-minute descent through crushing pressure just to clock in? I've complained about traffic before, but never like this. Theory 2. It's a secret alien base. Also unproven, though if aliens really did pick the most inconvenient, inhospitable, impossible to reach spot on the entire planet to hide, I actually respect the commitment to privacy. Theory 3. It's hiding a lost ancient civilization. This one at least sounds cooler, but there's no credible evidence for it down there specifically. Real underwater ruins do exist elsewhere in the world, but not at the bottom of this trench. None of these have any real evidence behind them. But I get it. When a place is this mysterious, our brains desperately want a story to fill in. The blanks. Because here's the thing. The real answer is honestly weirder than the conspiracy theories. Life down there is real, and it looks like it wandered in from a different planet. Meet the Mariana snailfish, a ghostly, almost see-through fish that holds the record for the deepest fish ever recorded, living at depths that should be biologically impossible. Wow. Its body is basically built to not fight the pressure, but to just let it happen. Honestly, a pretty good life philosophy. There are amphipods down there too, tiny shrimp-like scavengers cleaning up whatever falls from the world, above, including, unfortunately, our plastic. And there are xenophyophores, single-celled organisms that can grow big enough to see with the naked eye, which is deeply unsettling if you think about it for more than 4 seconds, so let's not. And as recently as 2024, researchers using a submersible found the deepest known colony of worms and mollusks ever discovered, living at depths so extreme it made scientists rethink what life can actually survive down here. We're still finding new residents in a neighborhood we've technically known about since 1875. Now, here's my favorite detail in this whole story. In 1960, the first 2 humans to ever reach the very bottom, Jacques Picard and Don Walsh, said they saw something resting on the ocean floor, a flatfish. For decades, that sighting got repeated as fact, proof that fish could survive at the most extreme depth on Earth, except most scientists today think they were almost certainly wrong. What they likely saw was a sea cucumber, or just a disturbed patch of sediment misread in near zero visibility at the bottom of a 7-mile dive in a vehicle built in the 1950s, and that's genuinely humbling. These were trained scientists in a submersible doing the most important, careful observation of their lives, and even they got by the dark. If the actual first humans to ever see the bottom of the ocean can be fooled by their own eyes. Down there, maybe cut yourself some slack next time you think you saw something weird in your backyard at night. Before we surface, a few quick fire facts to leave you with. The pressure at the bottom is roughly equivalent to 1,600 elephants standing on the roof of a small car. Please do not attempt to verify this. We've mapped more of the surface of Mars than we've mapped our own ocean floor, and only a handful of human beings ever in all of history have made it to the very bottom. Fewer than have walked on the moon, so the deepest place on Earth. Barely explored, genuinely strange, home to creatures that look like concept art for a sci-fi movie, and apparently capable of fooling even the professionals. Turns out you don't need aliens to make a place feel like another planet. You just need 7 miles of ocean and really bad Wi-Fi. If you like this one, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and I'll see you on the next adventure.